What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for coming on by. If you're here, if not, well, we'll hopefully have some more people coming by as well. Let me go ahead and make sure the mic is working. The mic is working. I had some technical difficulties earlier, just before the show, so had to get some things fixed. So sorry if some of the sounds don't sound great. Just let me know, and I will try and fix it along the way. Anyway, welcome to HellPod episode 3. Episode 2 didn't really make it to YouTube. I said some not so great things about some other people who were trash talking the game, and yeah, so we're just not gonna put that on YouTube. No, not that anybody really watches these. Not a lot of people watch these episodes, but hopefully that gets a little bit better as time goes on. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and dive into some of the changes for Helldivers. Pretty much, we go over patch notes, talk about new weapons, talk about new things that are going on with the game, to the podcast. No bummer. Okay. So, for new changes, pretty much people have been complaining about things in Helldivers being too hard, and they're not going to make the game easier. It's not a game to be made easier. It has 9 different levels of challenge type of things. So, they're not going to make the game easier. It's not going to happen. Don't expect it to happen. The game really focuses on making you not feel like you're the main character, because you're not. You're a soldier. You're gonna always be a soldier, and part of it is you dying and becoming the actual weapon, getting shot out of the ship to kill things. So even then, if you want an easier game, go down in levels. Nobody's gonna make fun of you for it, and if they do, well, that's kind of crappy, because that's not what the community is about. But pretty much, I went through and did some balancing changes. The patch that I did previously, a couple days ago, is dealing with the spawn rate of heavily armored terminated enemies, as well as possible play against them. It also contains some fixes to the UI elements and some crash fixes. There are tons of crash issues that happen with this game, and some weird bugginess that does happen that we'll get into a little bit more as we go on. Pretty much the amount of heavily armored targets that spawn on higher difficulties, especially for Terminids, have been a big discussion point online and internally. The intent is for groups to have to bring some form of anti-tank compatibility, but not to the degree previously needed. What that pretty much means is, like, they're not trying to make it easier, but this is a team game. You need to coordinate stratagems and stuff. They did make some other adjustments to the support weapons, pretty much to make it a little bit easier to fight against other people and stuff here and there. Anyway, to that end, it says that we have reduced the spawn rate of chargers and bile titans on difficulty 7 and up. In addition, we have reduced the risk of spawn spikes of chargers and bile titans. So basically, like, they won't spawn as much when they get called in. You'll see a lot more littler guys coming up. So if you hate hunters, bad news for you. They're gonna just make a bunch more hunters come through and eat you alive. But anyway, let's see here. We have changed the distribution of enemy types, not reduced difficulty. Expect other enemy types to appear in greater numbers. Like I said, there's going to be hunters and little baby bugs, and the commanders and the soldiers, all of them. They're going to be popping up. They're going to be fucking up your day. We are humbled by the community's ability to change things they like. Chargers leg meta in our game. However, spending your heavy tank weapons on legs instead of the obvious weak points seems counter to expectation. I mean, when it's really rough for you to get behind that guy, I can understand. Like, pretty much you are supposed to treat it like a charging bull. You dodge out, you kind of go out of the way, turn around, shoot it in the butt. But when you have hordes of enemies behind that fucker, it is really hard to do. It doesn't matter, and if it hits a rock and it's close to everything, you're kind of screwed. That's just how it is. But yeah, anyway, so they're not changing anything in regards to the charger's legs. We are, however, lowering the health of the charger's head. It should now be at a point where a well-placed shot from a recoilless rifle or the anti-tank instantly kills the charger. That is not true. There's times where I've watched other people shoot that thing in the head 2 times and then finally get it down. There's times where I shot it point blank with one of those things and it did nothing at all. So sometimes, and like literally right in the face, like I saw its teeth, I shot that fucker, it didn't go down. So there is that problem that happens still, but you know, it is what it is. It just adds to the difficulty of the game. Buggy bugs, you know. We're not changing anything regarding charges. Like, yeah, we got to that together with unfortunately undocumented change of the last patch that increased the armor penetration ability of less well-placed shots for the EATs and the recoilless rifle shots. Chargers should now be easy to handle with well-equipped groups. Again, it comes down to coordinating stuff with your friends or randos. Again, I cannot stress enough how often people try to do meta stuff in this game, and it's not good. What's up, Obi? Thank you so much for coming on by, buddy. We're just doing another episode of HellPod, kind of going over some patch notes and stuff, and then trying to talk about weapons and everything that have came out, and some gameplay and some people's stories about the game as well. I see you in there, Plastic Cow. Thank you so much for coming into the Discord. I don't know if you want to talk about the game or not, but I'm going through some stuff before I stream the actual game. So if you still want to play by the time I'm done with it, I will more than happily play with you, buddy. Let's go ahead and get into gameplay. The electronic countermeasures operation modifier. So basically, when they made things super random on the automaton planets, whenever you try to call something down, pretty much I guess that was bugged. I don't know. I thought it was fucking hilarious, but also very annoying when you were trying to start off the game and call down some stuff, and then you end up killing you and your homies with a 500 kg on accident. The robots are gonna hack you. It's kind of just the whole thing. Great. But keep scratching shit it's not supposed to get into. Sorry. Anyway, so they kind of pulled that for right now, and then they're gonna come out with another future iteration of it. You know, I think it was a new thing to kind of make things harder on people, which is understandable. Like the game, again, it's not supposed to be easy for people. It's supposed to be challenging. So some people are relieved. I don't know if anybody's upset about it. If you guys do want to talk about it, you can always come into Discord, say some shit about it, or always message me. Or if you have questions about it, you can always ask us as well. They fixed missing text from, and I did confirm this today when I got on. Pretty much the text from the HUD for a lot of things was missing. And they seem to fix that. They fixed some issues with the VO mismatches, basically the voiceovers in the videos, news videos. I don't really pay attention to those anymore. So I don't know if I could confirm that or not. They fixed various crashes that occurred mid-gameplay when deploying into missions. I haven't run into an issue for past couple days with that, where it was just like non-stop pod drop. But who knows, man? Who knows? Game crashes, and these are known issues that are still going on with the game crashes when attempting to stim, and the exosuit, pink artifacts, automaton drop shit seemingly to disappear, shots from arc-based weapons may not count towards kills and post-mission stats, players cannot unfriend other players or befriend players, cross-platform friend invites might not show up, in the friend request tab, players may be unable to select loadout or return to the ship when joining a multiplayer game session via the PS5 activity card. The exosuit can destroy itself with rockets if it fires while turning, and that is such a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. I done that a couple times already where I'm turning right to shoot something with a rocket and I just explode, so it sucks. The text chat box displays is obstructed by cinematic lettering box during extraction. It is what it is. Some people are unable to accept friend requests. This is mostly an issue in cross-platform. No, it's also an issue in PC too. I can't accept a friend request from a friend that's playing it on PC. They're not playing it on console. From what I understand when I was talking to. So there are tons of other bugs that they're not mentioning on here, but hopefully those also get fixed, like not being able to jump into the Pelican, randomly getting thrown into the air after touching a certain thing, and it not meshing very well. problems with buttons not working after pressing them several times, like the reload button or the stim button, even if you're not stunned. There's tons of issues, but it's still a fun game overall. And now getting into the weapons, pretty much there is a new war bond called Cutting Edge that is pretty much gonna give you new armor, new weapons. There is a newer add-on thing too for when you go down there, and it's supposed to make things spawn in less groups. But when I played and used it, it did absolutely nothing. Somebody else used it, did absolutely nothing. It was still getting fucked pretty frequently. So we can get into that in the video a little bit here. We're not going to do super long video today. I'm just going to kind of cut to a couple of things here and there, just so that way we can get through it. But it's nice. I still think it's really dumb that they made it to where, Obi, do not use your channel points on this scene right now. It's not going to work, buddy. I'm sorry. I think it's really dumb that they make you spend credits on it, but that's just me. You can definitely go through and get the credits, but you know, you can also spend $10 and get the credits too. I think I don't agree with that. That's just me. I think if you're gonna do that, you should have two different ones that release every time. You should have the one that you get regularly and then the one that you spend credits on, and don't fucking make people keep spending money on the game, especially if it's not fixed. It's nowhere near fixed. The devs are doing a good job of trying to fix things here and there, and I won't say that they're not, but at the same time, there's so much that needs to get done in this game for it to even be like, it shouldn't have been full release. I still don't think this game should have came out full release. It should have been an early access game for a long time, for at least a year, before releasing all the stuff that they did, but it's out now, so you can't really go back. But yeah, well, let me go ahead
That's
and...
why it's for $40 instead of the full price tag.
Well, it's still an indie game too, and that's another reason why it was like $40. It's not like a AAA developer. They weren't gonna like try and... I don't think they would have tried.
I think the problem with this game though is that like people see like myself, like I'm not really like super into the scene, right? So like you see, as soon as you load up the game, you see Sony PlayStation Studios %, right? So you're expecting it to be like, oh, this is gonna be a AAA title because it's from Sony. So all of these bugs and glitches like from the start, I can see why people were frustrated. But like you said, it is a very good game now. Like they fixed a lot of stuff. It's not completely there yet. That's 85.
Yeah, and it's I enjoy it still. I just get annoyed because I find myself running into these issues and I'm like, God, this thing could be so much fucking better. This one thing just didn't happen. And I know they're gonna work on it, and they have been really responsive to things, and I do appreciate the devs for this game for that. And I do like that, you know, recently they corrected themselves on saying this, but one of the devs came out and was just like, oh, you know, if you're having a hard time on the higher difficulties, it's more of a skill issue. It's not necessarily the game's fault. It's not supposed to be an easy game. But at the same time, with the bugs, yeah, they pulled a get good, and then the CEO came out and he was just like, hey, that's not how we should have worded that. But yeah, like
person in PR is obviously a Dark Souls gamer, so you know we have to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah, just had to backpedal just a little bit. And then I don't know if you guys are seeing this right now, but we got the new Scythe going on. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it. I watched another player wreck with it though. They were doing really good with it. It's great for smaller bugs. It sucks for trying to fight anything bigger than the hunters. Honestly, it just does not do enough damage output. But if you're running with somebody with a cycle, you know, or the AR laser rifle, it's very helpful. I kind of treat it like more of like an SMG, if anything, not necessarily an assault rifle weapon. But yeah, there's multiple times where I'm just like trying to shoot shit with it in this game. It's just not hitting like I wanted to. And then we could get into like the newer plasma rifle. The plasma launcher. They call it a shotgun. It is not a shotgun. Don't treat it like a shotgun. man. For the love of God, do not shoot that thing close to you. You will fucking explode. It's pretty good. I haven't gotten to try out the laser pistol yet. I spent all my war bonds on trying to get most of the weapons and some of the armor, because you have to spend war bonds to unlock the other pages and stuff. As far as the new armor goes, it looks pretty cool. It really does seem to what's the word I'm looking for? Basically foreshadow the next enemy type, which is going to have the arc weaponry, and I think that's gonna be really exciting. It's not great for bugs. It doesn't give you anything other than the arc resistance from all of 3 of the armor sets that I've seen. So it's kind of just for looks and to get that arc resistance when the new guys come out. And I don't know how well it, goes against lasers and stuff, because I don't think that's arc damage when it comes to the robots. But it does look cool. I like it. And then when they start to release things like the color palettes that they've been kind of hinting at, it's gonna be a fun time for a lot of the community that's been wanting to change their colors on their guys for a long time. So I'm excited for it. On top of all this new stuff for we keep talking about bugs and stuff because I haven't really gotten into automatons yet. There's not a whole lot of new stuff going on for automatons, but they do have a newer mission for the bugs, which is going to be the silos defense. Basically, you go in, you have to defend 3 silos. Let me see if I can get to that part here. So yeah, you have to defend 3 silos. There's always one that's like kind of in the middle that is like a huge pain in the ass to try and defend because of how often the bugs spawn. And again, that's just my fault for being bad at the game, I guess. But like it is a learning curve experience, because most of the time you kind of like come in and you're like, okay, well, I barely even need to use turrets and whatnot. Maybe I need to use the same. And again, people do this all the time. Oh, I need to make a meta build. No, it's not a meta build game. Stop it. Bad. But you do have to change stratagems you use. You have to, this is like, other than the citizen extracts, this game is heavily defensive. You are going to want to use turrets or mech or something to try and help you kill the bugs, because these silos are brittle as fuck. Like, yeah, you can even damage it yourself on accident while you're trying to shoot the bugs. So it's a really interesting new game mode that they have right now. So definitely team up with your friends, talk about stuff before you go down there, because if you keep trying to use the same build for like every single mission, you're gonna have a bad time, which I do like about this game. I have ADHD. I hate playing the same shit over and over again. It fucking drives me insane. So like it's refreshing that they have this kind of thing go on. And as you can tell, this guy has a recoilless rifle that I'm playing with, and he was killing shit with it and doing a good job. There was a few times though where it was just like he hit that thing dead on in the face and it didn't die, but it's whatever. And this is just on hard, so we're not even on the crazier difficulties. I tried it on 7. And we failed fucking miserably. And it was mainly because we took too long trying to just defend one silo. Like, none of us knew what we were doing. We finally somebody finally hit the buttons that they needed to hit and finally got to the other silo. And then we started, and that was like 10 minutes into the game. So like in this game, the longer you take, the harder it's gonna get, 100%. And you got to get good. It's literally just that. You're gonna die a few fucking times, whatever. Get back up, dust yourself off. You learn your lesson, get back into it. There wasn't even a part where it was just like we were playing, and I think I forgot my suit, and we went over, and it's coming up here in a couple of seconds, but it landed on like a pillar and I couldn't fucking get it, and then we had to explode a bunch of shit to get it, and then I couldn't even get in that fucker because it was exploded. And that was a moment for me to realize, like, damn, I need to get better at this. I should at calling shit in. So like even little things like that, it teaches you lessons. Like, I couldn't even get mad at that point. But anyway, Plastic Cow, I would like to hear like what you thought from the game from what you've played so far. How have you liked it? If you're still there.
I'm in the middle of a match right now, but honestly, I don't mind the game. It's more fun to play with people that you know. If you're trying to play it by yourself, it's a little rough, because like communication between other people is a little spotty. Other than that, like if you're just kind of picking it up and playing with your friends, though, like it's a pretty fun game. As long as you actually know what you're doing. It can be a little confusing at first, but as soon as you delve into the actual, like, the ins and outs of the games, it's not too bad.
Okay.
The combat, though, is second to none. It's pretty fun.
I do gotta admit, the fighting in this game is really fun. Once you get the hang of it, it's a blast.
If anybody, I don't know who actually in your stream, there's the people that are here have actually played, what's it called? Lost Planet.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of similar to that, in the shooting aspect, and even some of the enemies too. Like when you're going and fighting the insects or whatever, or the bugs, they look very, very similar to the insects in Lost Planet. Not in a bad way, like in a good way, because Lost Planet's a pretty good game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, there's not really much else to say. It's a pretty good game. The fact that it's $40 and not like it wasn't full price, even with the server issues at first, like that's a pretty good steal.
Yeah.
Because you know they're gonna make it better over and over and over again. So.
Yeah. And I think it's a good dev team. I think this game is going in the right direction. It's changing a lot of approaches for a lot of other developers. I feel like it's not a huge cash grab. I might have said what I said earlier about the credit store, like, or unlocking the new war bonds and spending credits on it. You could grind out the credits, but
but they're nowhere near EA though, where you have to buy. You literally have to purchase stuff just to even like maintain the status quo. It's even like me. I jumped in. I don't play this game very often at all. I jumped into a match just now, and I had 99 credits saved up just to kind of buy stuff, and I wasn't even playing anything. Like they give you stuff for not even playing.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of the cool part too. Like you don't really, you should play obviously because it's a good game, but you don't have to play all the time. They're gonna give you stuff because everybody else is playing the game. When the war, gets farther and farther in, you start winning more and more, you get more credits. So you don't really have to do stuff, but you should.
Right. And that's
like the cool part.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about this game. It is a community game. It's a huge community game. You do feel like you're part of a war, even though you're not seeing all the other players doing stuff. You could still see it from your ship. You can see the progress that's being made. Shit, like I turned on the game and like last night we didn't have, I think it was Angel's Venture or some other planet, and I get on this morning, it's fucking taken over. Like, good job, Helldivers. So, and then you get war bonds for it once everybody completes it, and you just kind of come back in and you're like, oh hey, cool, I got like fucking 40-50 rewards out of that, so that's sick. So yeah, like Classic Out saying, it's a really cool game for that reason, and even if you don't do your part, you still get something out of it. But if you are playing the game actively, like maybe once every couple of days or so, you're still contributing. You're still doing your part, man. As long as you complete the campaign, you even that little 3% made a huge difference. You might not feel like it when you see the bar go up like less than a centimeter, but you did something. But I think that's pretty much enough with the whole patch notes and stuff. Not a whole lot has gotten released. There is not a lot to talk about for the guns other than the fact that the assault rifle one seems a little underpowered in my opinion, but there's a few other guns that feel kind of underpowered in that game in general. And it's going to take some balancing and some time to get stuff done. So far, my favorite right now, I haven't gotten the ARC shotgun, but the new plasma launcher shotgun is really fun. It's not good for small insects. It can kill them, but one guy was struggling to try and figure out what it was good for, and I honestly feel like if you use it to hit weak spots on the bigger bugs, it's pretty good. Like I killed a rhino charger dude with it. I killed the bile spewers pretty quickly. There was a lot of stuff I was able to do with that gun. It's just because it's not a huge explosion taking down the little guys, that's not its job. I feel like its job is like mainly focusing bigger dudes and trying to exploit weak spots in that case. Well, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and hop into the game here. Oh, there's one last thing I wanted to go over, actually, now that we're here, but pretty much we have flying enemies now. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but there's like a couple of small photos that have like the little flying guys, and some people have seen them. I don't know if they were in hack game or not. I haven't seen any yet, but from the videos and stuff that I've seen of them, they're terrifying. They're flying fucking bugs. If you thought the hunters were fucking annoying, these are probably going to be a lot worse.